It's Taylor Bridges. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. I'm so glad and grateful and appreciative to have you here with me right now. I am here to review Harlem Season 2, Episode 2. I already reviewed and put out Episode 1. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, please do so. I'd really, really appreciate your time and attention. And let's get right into this review. We last left off with Jameson telling Camille he turned down the offer in Chicago to stay near her. She's noticeably apprehensive, and she says she doesn't want to be responsible for a big life thing. And I actually think that's extremely valid. Like, this is a huge opportunity, Jameson. Y'all are not married. Like, and if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, y'all's whole union moved pretty quickly. Let me see. It was a short amount of time for you to be making as serious of a decision like this. Like, y'all's union hasn't even been that long necessarily. I actually think it's irresponsible. And it was a bit of peer pressure to place all this reasoning for passing up this opportunity on being, saying that reason is being in a relationship with Camille. I think that's actually irresponsible. And that's a lot of pressure putting on Camille. I don't think you should put all that on y'all thing. You should have weighed the pros and cons, and there needed to be much, much more pros on that list other than Camille. You needed to be way more options. You needed more reasons to stay. Because look at you now. You don't have Camille, and now what? You put your future on the line without being sure about where y'all stood. That's not Camille's fault. Now, don't get me wrong. Camille was playing games with this man. He never stood a fair chance. She was playing games. But Jameson is a grown man. He has to take accountability. He's a grown man. He has to be responsible for himself. He did not solidify where they stood. He didn't make sure. Or at least read Camille's signs. Okay? But I'm not with you putting all this on her. I don't know. Angie pops up at Quinn's house, and I'm like, I get letting your friends have a key to your place, but eventually that stuff gets old. Quinn needs her privacy, and Angie, you need a key that opens the door of your place that only you enter. Like you need your privacy, and you need to let your friends have their privacy, or at least if you're gonna bombard in, like, stop being like loud about it. That's super rude. But Quinn allows it, so whatever. Quinn says she's ready to commit it to Isabella. And I'm like, this is typical behavior when women are new to lesbianism. This, for what I've seen, this is right on par. Lesbians move fast enough as it is. Pardon me. So Quinn fits right in. But I do think that she is doing too much. Like, y'all only had sex one time, and you already this smitten. Like, girl, that's a little desperate behavior. Quinn, pull it together. Camille and Ian are enjoying each other, and it's his first time back in her apartment in a long time, and that's how I know it won't last. Like, they think that they can just pick up where they left off and carry on. They both, but more so Ian just left a very serious relationship to be in a relationship with Camille without even taking the time to really date and reconnect again. The naivete. He just got out of an engagement. He needs therapy. And to really reconcile where and address where his emotional and mental health is currently, now that he's parted ways from a serious relationship. But jumping out of one serious relationship to the next is a red flag. But Camille is too thirsty and self-destructive to notice or care, for that matter. So they want what they want right now in this moment, and nothing else matters. I think it's ridiculous. They get to chatting, and not even 1 minute in, they're bumping heads because Camille said that Jameson technically broke up with her before she could say anything to him. And Ian wants to know how he's taking the news of him and Camille getting back together. And there's going to be this recurring thing of these. Y'all got each other. Y'all got what y'all wanted. Y'all said to hell with everybody else. We want each other. If I ain't got nothing, I got you, right? Like, y'all got each other. That's it. y'all are still either worried about each other's people or still letting outside past exes affect. Like, y'all got what y'all wanted. So why is Ian so pressed over what Jameson thinks about their union? You got the girl. Worry about what y'all doing. What you care about what Jason thinks of y'all. I don't know. The girl is handled. He broke up with her. Like, what else does she need to say? Like, it's over with. You know, he thinks it should be nothing for her because he called off an entire wedding for her. And I'm like, this is why Ian needed to end the engagement, go through therapy, heal and learn from that relationship, get a grasp on why things didn't work out, why he wants to move forward. A plethora of things need to occur before he hopped into this serious relationship. And you know, really settling with the idea. At one point, Mira was the person you planned on spending the rest of your life with. That's why y'all actually got engaged, right? So, like, you're not going to spend, you know, this whole time blaming Camille for as if you didn't call it off. Well, you know what? Maybe you did only call it off for Camille, which is also stupid, just like Jameson. You made a decision as well with somebody without checking the temperature. You made a decision. And yes, you can, in this situation, you can go off what Camille says, but y'all gotta go off each other's actions. Y'all are not ready. The expectations for the relationship to be really, you know, to be able to healthily progress from the state it's in now just shows how immature they both are. They deserve each other, you know. And Mira and Jameson dodged bullets, both of them. They're both seemingly great people on the show. They dodged bullets, you know. Camille's crazy. Jameson is super cute. He's super handsome. He clearly has a coin. He's ready for a serious relationship. And most importantly, Camille, he doesn't come with a fiance, you see? That's the most important criteria. He already doesn't come. You mean to tell me you can't find anybody without a fiance? When women subject themselves to messing around with a dude that's out in a relationship, to me, it's giving you don't have options. That you would subject yourself to that intentionally. Like, it's giving you really not that girl like you thought you were. I don't need to be your mistress. Like, if you got a wife, like, no thank you. I don't want nobody's husband. I don't want nobody's situation. I want my own. And I can get my own. You know how many men there are on this planet? I can do better. I can do one better than somebody else's husband, fiance, man. So, it's not cute. You know, Camille and Ian ended the conversation pretty much pointing fingers at each other, which probably won't stop. All the ladies except Quinn are linking up. Angie has been lucking up with winning these free tickets. And, you know, it's not much, but I think she's seeing the glass half full, which I believe further manifests the good luck she's waiting to receive. You know what I mean? So kudos to her. Ty ran into an old flame, but the woman is actually dodging Ty because Ty has this reputation of messing women over. The lady actually found this information on shebetoxic.com. And it's like a romantic review site that I actually think is pretty cool. I thought it was hilarious. And that's exactly what Ty's behind get. Her behind was put on blast on that app. That was so funny. And there's even something on there about Camille that she thinks Jameson wrote about how she ghosts people and is broke AF, which was also really funny. Ty plans to track down the person running the app to have them take her and Camille's posts down. I'm like, girl. Quinn shows up late due to being with Isabella, and she has a new boo. We get it. This happens, especially in the beginning of, new relationships, and especially with Quinn's thirsty behind. And by relationship, I mean that doesn't mean they're in an exclusive relationship, just any dating relationship, romantic, sexual. That's what I mean by, because clearly we're gonna see that Quinn is gonna take the relationship word out of context and think it's more than what it is. Angie tries her luck again at the scratch off, but she loses, and then she immediately runs into this dude in the store, and guess what they do next? You guessed it, they had sex. What I will say is that though I'm not personally a fan of all the promiscuity on this beautiful queen, I am glad that they are portraying her as immensely appealing to these men, you know, like these men, like even when she was messing with the roommates, like when they're like, dang, you way finer than your twin sister. Like, I love that she's at least getting that love, you know, like it's giving, like she like, we as the audience clearly see her beauty. But I'm glad that they wrote it into the script and into her role for her to receive this, you know, these compliments and this attention, you know, to really showcase just how attractive she really is. So I will say that I do appreciate that. She's impressed by a gas station dude's place. I'd be alarmed. Like, you just met me at the corner store and now you're comfortable with me being in your private domain. Like, not even 2 minutes of knowing me. Like, I could be a serial killer. To me, that's a red flag. Like, it would signal some sort of lack. Like, immediately, where do you lack that you're that open? Like, I want someone who respects themselves, their space, and their place enough to be cautious who they let in it. Not just some random from the gas station. Not my man. Not the man I want. I need you to have a little more cautiousness to you. I'm gonna need for you to really like respect your space too much to be like, there's no way I'm about to have random women I just met from anywhere in this place. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Like, they literally just met at the corner store 5 minutes ago. He's talking about how women get overwhelmed by his package. And I'm like, you already know he's about to be on some weird stuff because he already coming on strong. Quinn and Isabella are at the open mic, and it was raved about by a lesbian magazine. And I love that kind of like content. Like, I would enjoy myself at that open mic. They were being over the top and crazy. I love it. But Quinn and Isabella end up leaving. The ladies, all 4 of them are playing spades, and Ty can't focus because she's stalking this app and her behind reneges. Instead of her initial mission, which was to stop the person behind shebetoxic.com, she ends up getting consumed by the stories of another F girl named Zoe. And Ty considers Zoe's behavior to be legendary, so she seeks her out. She plans to have all kinds of emotionless sex and still get to like do what she normally does. And I'm like, I already know this is not going to end up the way Ty believes it will. Ty reminds me of one of my best friends. Like, one of my best friends, he's a lesbian. She is one of the she is literally the nicest person ever. A great friend, beautiful soul. But when I say she could play this game with these lesbians, when I say she's a savage. I'm like, who are you? She is like the nicest person ever, but she is a savage in the dating world. That's what Ty reminds me of. Because Ty is such a sweetheart. She's such a down chick. Like, sometimes, and that sucks, right? Like, you can imagine like somebody liking my best friend, right? Like, I get the version of her that's just like cool, chill, just like amazing. Like, we have a bomb time together, right? But then like, imagine like somebody she's dating, like they would love to see the side that I get to see, but they have to get this other side. That's what Ty, like, Ty's such a great friend. Like, she's vulnerable with her friends, I think, whether she wants to admit it or not. You know, she's such a cool person. Like, I don't know. I wish she could show that side to women. But Angie tells the story of old dude and him having a micro penis and how he had the audacity to, you know, constantly hype up his skills. Guys do that. I mean, Camilla's back at her place and Jameson texts her that he's coming, you know, when he's already there. I hate when people do that. Do not do that. Do not tell me you coming and you already outside. I'm not going to respond. No, thank you. Like, you drove over here. You had ample time to call, say something, but you're not going to, like, you're not. That's rude. But she's being weird about it, per usual. I mean, what do we think? He comes in, he brings her back, he leaves the key, and he says goodbye. Hope you figure your ish out. And I like how he was straight to the point about it, super quick. Instead of her just letting him go and it being done, it's her who insists on chatting more to try to chastise him about writing about her in the blog, which he says he didn't do. So I'm like, ooh, that's juicy. Who did it then? Like, was it Mira? Or I hope it's not Mira. I hope it's somebody totally, I hope it's like a whole new person to come in and bother Camille. I wouldn't mind that. He was able to deduce, Jameson was able to deduce that Camille was back messing with her ex, Ian, due to Mira's Instagram. It wasn't that hard. And I'm glad he was able to put that together and essentially kind of get the closure he needed before, because Camille wasn't going to come out and say it. And that's sad. That's so sad. Super passive aggressive. I think they're doing her eyebrows too thick. What do y'all think? I actually think she wears her eyebrows like that in real life, and I think they're too thick. Especially being that she moves her eyebrows a lot as she speaks. She moves her eyebrows a lot. And they're just like, that's what it is. I don't like it. But she's tripping. Jameson is bomb. Jameson is a bomb eligible bachelor, okay? Tyrese spots the toxic chick in the bar getting caught with the chick by her chick. So the toxic chick gets caught by her chick with another chick. And this toxicity is right up Ty's alley. And, you know, it's crazy. The girl Zoe, she actually resembles a like melanated Amanda Seales to me. But she's beautiful in her own right. She's stunning. She's a beautiful queen. They immediately hook up on the spot. And like I said, this is not going to be as smooth as they think. Quinn and Isabella are ending their night out. And Isabella opts to simply drop Quinn off and head home for the night because she has a ton of work. And, you know, she says, you know, that was just enough social time for her that night, you know. And instead of Quinn just respecting that, you know, she starts speculating on whether Isabella's mad at her, all this extra stuff. And I think that shows an unhealthy level of clinginess in Quinn. There's more to Isabella's life. Heck, her evening to watching shows with you and, you know, doing what you want to do. Like, she has a life. She has things that, you know, she wants to put her time to, and she has the right to that. Like, sometimes people need space to themselves, and it shouldn't really warrant an argument because of it, you know? That's why, like, weekends are my favorite with my man. Like, we will spend an entire Saturday in the house, right? The entire day, morning to night, but like in our own worlds, like different spaces for hours, not interrupting each other, not talking to each other, nothing. We share the same space. We know that we're there. We feel each other's energy, each other's warmth. But we leave each other alone. We give each other space to do what we need to do, handle, you know, we work during the week. So weekends are like the time to decompress. There are things that we need to handle that we, you know, don't have the time to do during the work week, you know, just to have that space. Like, I don't have to, we don't have to argue about us needing time to ourselves to do, you know, we're individuals, right? We have our own goals and dreams. Like, I think Quinn is tripping. I think it's better to have somebody that's comfortable decompressing and being in solitude around you, as opposed to being like, I need solitude, and that includes being away from you too. Like I said, my man and I, we can be in solitude while occupying the same place for hours because we give each other space. And I think that's what you want. Like, I want my man to be able to escape, but not necessarily need to escape me to get that. He doesn't necessarily need to do that, because he can escape and be to himself and have his own thoughts and stuff with me in the room, trusting and knowing that I'm not going to bombard him with thoughts and interrupt his thought process and his solitude and time with himself. So, you know, Quinn is making this about whether she's mad at her or not. And, you know, Isabella just has work in the morning. And, you know, she just probably wants to get her mind right. Like, I think that should be attractive. Like, people nowadays like so much discipline. So for someone to execute discipline despite this temptation of this, you know, super beautiful woman who, you know, I could go spend more of the night with, I think that's a very attractive trait to have. It shows you have your priorities straight. Like, this lady is running for office. And it's like Quinn calls them a couple, but Isabella shuts that down right away. See, Quinn thought the lesbian game was going to be vastly different from the heterosexual game. And obviously there are stark differences. But at the same time, people are people. You're trying to place claim on somebody much too soon. You're misconstruing the relationship. Like, y'all literally just had y'all's first date and y'all's first nightcap. No more than like a week prior to this. Calm down. Isabella says they're just getting to know each other, like in a slow and casual way. And Quinn accuses her of breaking up with her. And I'm like, this is just weird behavior. Like, lesbian or not, this is too much. This is doing too much. And Quinn says she came out for Isabella. And that's childish to say. Isabella is right. You came out for you. And this got me thinking, like, is Quinn really bisexual, or is she just heartbroken for men? And she met this beautiful, dope lesbian. She finds her attractive and she got her feelings caught up. It happens all the time. It's why I don't like my best friend dating bi women. Because there are bi women, and then there are women who are in between sex phases based on their emotional status, based on how dudes are treating them. I've seen it. Like, it happens. And sometimes you can't tell the difference. So, and that's what Quinn is acting like. Like, you clinging to the way she's clinging to Isabella is a sign of desperation, confusion, a lack of self-love and understanding. You know, like, they didn't even have to break up. They could have just kept cooling and hanging out. Like, she literally couldn't hang out one night. Like, she couldn't hang out one night and go home without you throwing a tantrum. Going home because she had work obligations the next day. That's alarming. That's like the type of behavior that somebody will see while you dating and be like, see, that's why Isabella broke it off. Like, you doing all this while we're dating, like while we just chilling. We ain't even like in a serious relationship and you already bugging out like this. Like, she was doing too much. You know, like, most of us want a partner with some money. But, you know, not y'all wanting this person with money, but not wanting them to actually show up to do, say, a job, which requires rest, concentration, being able to reset, prepare. You know what I mean? You know, and then she breaks down on the sidewalk. I was just like, this is just all, Quinn, you being real dramatic, girl. We're back with Mr. Anaconda and Angie. And Angie is struggling to get aroused. And he's just so into his skills. It was so funny when he's like crawling on the bed. That was so funny. The money has to be on a different level to fake it through that, you know. But that, like, you got to vet to see what kind of money he really got if you're going to be going through some stuff like that. And Angie ain't wait long enough. She was too hot in the pants. So she ended up giving it up for no reason. She looks beautiful, though. Her melon is popping. They have her moisturized and glittered up phenomenally. He asks her, hilarious, to get a vaginal rejuvenation. Hollered. And he asked, is the problem micro penis or macro vagina? And in his defense, that's a great question. Because we do see Angie getting down with just about anyone with 2 front teeth and a 21 and up ID. There's no other criteria. So it's really not far-fetched that Angie could be the problem. I don't know. Once again, Angie barges into Quinn's home, yelling and immediately venting. And what if Quinn had company over? That's annoying to watch. Like, just annoying to watch. They're having a moment talking about their failed romantic relationships as of late, and they bond, express appreciation, all of that. But they have an unhealthy codependency between them. And I think it would be way cuter if they were 16, but they're in their 30s. And they're super codependent. And they don't really have a good setup to be in a serious relationship with anybody. This isn't a good setup to step into. It's like y'all already in a relationship with each other. So y'all don't have boundaries. That's for sure. I don't see, like, if anything, y'all give each other way more privileges than the people y'all dated. Camille pops up on Ian to talk. And I think it's just a stupid and horrible scene. It's just it's stupid and horrible timing. Once again, Camille is being selfish and nonsensical. They're having this stupid conversation about why he didn't text back. And he has the nerve to get upset with the server for wanting the proper dish back out to the guests. First, it's a safety hazard. with her being in the kitchen. It's unprofessional. She don't have a hairnet on. She's over food. It's a safety hazard for her being in the kitchen. It's unprofessional for y'all to be doing this while not only is Ian working, but he's running the kitchen. I would be pissed if I were a guest at that restaurant and y'all in here doing this. Give me my butter or give me my brown butter carrots. Like, what is wrong with them? Like, it was not a cute scene. Camila's acting nutty because she's embarrassed to admit that she's the woman Mira says she was. Mira was absolutely correct. And Camila needs to be honest with herself. Camila and Ian need to set themselves free individually. Y'all wanted each other at all costs because y'all thought it would make you happy. Now y'all have each other, but y'all are so crippled by the people and emotions of the past. So it seems like y'all were going to be a hot mess regardless. Y'all could point the finger at Mira, Jameson. The reason why y'all haven't been able to move on and be happy is because y'all need to have closure with all these other people. These people are out of the picture now, so you can't blame them. So we'll see how y'all develop now that y'all are officially the only two in the picture. Okay? Camille should see that an engaged man was willing to commit to someone all the way up to the point where he was influenced by an old memory and fling enough to end his committed relationship. She doesn't see how this could happen to her. Because to me, Ian sounds like the type of dude that has a shaky level of commitment. He said he pretty much hasn't felt anything for Mira for the past 6 months. To me, that's alarming. I don't want to hear that. Like, you could do that with me. You could end up faking the funk and having me because to us, it looked like they were pretty in love. So it's like, yeah, you coming clean, but it's not the flex that you thought. And if anything, it makes you look crazy that you've been look like not feeling her for the past 6 months, but you was about to get married. Ian doesn't see that Camille is still the same selfish person. She was willing to fool around with your engaged behind to get her urges appeased, no matter who it hurt in the process. And yes, as beautiful as Camille is, she settled for somebody else's man. Like, that's the best you can do? They're both fickle, and they're both going to hurt each other. Ian says everyone's got that one person they'll blow their lives up for. And I'm like, yeah, when I was 23. That's like 20s behavior. That's stuff you do when you're in your early 20s. That stupid stuff like that. No, we're not blowing up our life for none of this. We're grown and we're going to set our behinds down and get up out the streets because ain't nothing out there. Settle our behinds down and start a family. If that's what we want. But this whole blow our lives up for somebody, you know what? I'm not blowing up my life for anybody. Not even the person I'm already with. Excuse me? Ty and old girl end up having nice sex and whatnot, and they're literally like spitting images of each other as far as behavior. And as I said, this is not going to last. Somebody is about to catch feelings, and my bet is that it's going to be Ty, which once again will be a taste of her own medicine. Her soon-to-be ex-husband barges in, and that's where the episode ends. I can't wait till this divorce saga is over with. It just makes me nervous because he's so messy and petty. I just want it to be done with. Like, what is the verdict, Judge? Your Honor, what is it? How much is she gonna have to get his man? So we'll tune in for next week. You know I'm gonna be back. Thank you so much for tuning in, giving me your attention and your time and your energy. And that's it. All right. Bye-bye.